Hey everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder why it feels like so much scientific knowledge is hard to trust or build upon? Like a shaky tower of blocks that might just tumble down? Well, this new paper dives deep into that exact problem, and guess what? It suggests a surprisingly helpful new tool might be on the way to fix it, powered by something pretty futuristic AI agents. Think about it, scientists work hard to create knowledge that lasts, knowledge that we can all build on. This is what they call cumulative science. But lately, there has been a growing concern that our scientific knowledge isn't as solid as it should be. The paper talks about things like studies that can't be reproduced, meaning if someone else tried to do the same experiment, they wouldn't get the same results. Or sometimes the numbers reported in the paper don't quite match the actual data or the code used to analyze it. Even citations, which are supposed to point to solid evidence, can sometimes be used in ways that don't quite support the claim being made. It is like trying to build a house on a foundation that has cracks all over the place. And why is this happening? Well, one big reason is that doing all the checks needed to make sure science is super reliable is just plain time-consuming and expensive. Imagine a journal editor who has to go through hundreds of papers. They don't have hours to rerun every single piece of computer code or double-check every citation. Readers like you and me also don't have that kind of time when we're reading an article. It's a gap between the high standards we have for good science and what we can actually afford to enforce. But here is where it gets really interesting. This paper proposes that a new kind of AI called an AI agent could be a game changer. Now, these aren't just chatbots that answer questions. These are AI systems designed to do multi-step tasks. Think of an AI that can open a research project, look at all its files, run computer code, check if the results match what the researcher said they would be, and then write a report about all of it. It's like having a super fast, incredibly thorough assistant for scientists. The authors give two great examples right at the start. One scientist used an AI agent named Claude Code to update an analysis. The AI not only updated the code, but flagged an error in a major dataset that researchers had missed. Another time, the authors themselves used an agent that, on its own, found a subtle bug in their code that was misclassifying participants. This wasn't a dramatic, I discovers a new theory moment, but rather a meticulous check of the details, finding inconsistencies between data, code, and claims that humans might overlook due to sheer tedium. So, the big idea here is not that AI will replace human scientists and make all the discoveries for us. Instead, it's about making the careful, tedious, but super important checks that uphold scientific quality much, much cheaper and easier to do. It is about helping us build that solid foundation for cumulative knowledge. Let's break down how these AI agents can help. The paper identifies 10 common problems or threats to good science, and it shows how AI agents can tackle many of them. One of the big ones is computational irreproducibility. This means the computer code used to analyze data simply doesn't run when someone else tries it, often because of missing files or paths on a computer. AI agents can be sent to try and run this code in a clean environment. And if it fails, they can report exactly where and why. Then there's analytic irreproducibility. This is when the same data and code do run, but they don't produce the same results reported in the paper. This can happen because of tiny differences in software versions, random settings in the code, or choices the researcher made that weren't fully explained. AI agents can try to replicate the analysis and highlight any discrepancies. Reporting inconsistencies are also a problem. This is when numbers in the abstract don't match the numbers in the main text, tables, or figures. It's like a paper telling you one thing in the introduction and something else in the conclusion. An AI agent can systematically scan the entire document and flag any number that doesn't add up. One of the most important tools modern science has is pre-registration. This is where researchers decide on their research plan and analysis steps before they collect any data and then share that plan publicly. This stops them from changing their analysis based on what the data tells them, which can lead to biased results. But the paper points out researchers can still deviate from their pre-registration without telling anyone. This is called pre-registration. Analysis drift. An AI agent can actually compare the pre-registration plan to the final analysis code and point out any changes that weren't disclosed. Specification flexibility is another tricky one. It means that a conclusion might only hold up if the researcher makes certain choices, like which participants to include or exclude, or which statistical model to use. These choices can sometimes be a bit arbitrary. AI agents can be used to run many different versions of the analysis, called a multiverse analysis, to see how sensitive the conclusions are to these choices. If a conclusion changes drastically depending on these choices, it's a red flag. Even the materials researchers use can cause problems. For example, if you are comparing pictures of happy faces to sad faces, but the happy faces are also on average brighter or have more smiling people in them, you don't know if your results are due to happiness or these other differences. An AI agent can analyze the features of stimuli to flag potential confounds before the study even starts. And what about measuring things? Are the scales we use to measure constructs like happiness or anxiety actually measuring what they claim to measure? AI agents can help by checking if the chosen measurement tools have solid evidence of validity, meaning they work as intended. The paper also discusses citation misrepresentation, where a source is cited, but the cited text doesn't actually support the claim being made. AI agents can check this by looking up the sources and comparing the claim in the paper to the actual text in the cited document. Finally, when human coders or even other AI systems are used to label or categorize data, their work can sometimes be inconsistent. An AI agent can test the reliability of this annotation, making sure it's consistent across different prompts or different AI models. The paper lays out a step-by-step approach organized by the different stages of research. Before data collection, AI agents can help design better studies by checking for things like statistical power. You know how sometimes studies have too few participants, so they can't reliably detect an effect even if one is there. An AI agent can simulate data to estimate if the planned study will have enough power to find real effects. It can also check stimulus sets for confounds and help refine pre-registrations to be more precise. After data collection, but before final analysis and writing, agents can focus on making sure the code runs, that the analysis stick to the pre-registration, and that the results are robust across different analytical choices. And then, for the manuscript itself, AI agents can perform those text-level checks, like verifying citations and ensuring numerical consistency throughout the paper. The key takeaway is that they produce reports, not final judgments. These reports are then used by human researchers, reviewers, and editors to make informed decisions. So, how do we make this happen in the real world? The authors suggest integrating these AI checks into institutions like journals, research funders, and training programs. Journals, for example, could use AI reports as a preliminary check before a paper goes to peer review. This wouldn't replace human reviewers, but it would flag potential issues much earlier in the process, saving everyone time and effort. Research funders are also in a unique position. They can require more detailed pre-registrations that are machine-readable, meaning AI agents can understand and check them. They can also push for researchers to deposit not just their code, but the entire software environment needed to run it. This makes it much easier for AI and humans to verify reproducibility. And importantly, training future scientists to use and understand these AI tools is crucial. Students need to learn what these agents are checking, where they might fail, and how to critically interpret their reports. Simply outsourcing verification without understanding it could lead to a false sense of security. Now, the paper is also very realistic about the limitations. For these AI agents to be truly helpful, a few things need to be in place. First, they need to be reliable. While they're getting better, they still make mistakes. The key is that even an imperfect agent, when used in conjunction with human oversight, can lower the cost of verification because confirming or correcting an AI's finding is much faster than doing the whole check from scratch. Second, access needs to be equitable. These tools shouldn't be so expensive or complicated that only well-funded labs can use them. Open, publicly maintained tools are essential to ensure all researchers can benefit. And third, we need to avoid ritualization. That means simply ticking a box for an I-audit report without understanding its contents or having a way for authors to contest findings. The process needs to be transparent and contestable. It's also important to remember what AI agents can do. They can detect publication bias, which is when studies with significant results are more likely to be published than those with null results. And they can't easily spot certain questionable research practices like harking, where hypotheses are generated after seeing the results. For these issues, we still need broader methodological approaches. In conclusion, this paper presents a compelling vision. It argues that agentic AI, with its ability to perform multi-step tasks across research artifacts, can significantly lower the barriers to implementing and verifying good scientific practices. By acting as diligent inspectors, AI agents can help us catch errors, ensure consistency, and ultimately build a more reliable and cumulative body of knowledge in the behavioral and social sciences. It's not about replacing human intellect, but augmenting it, making rigorous science more accessible and sustainable. The authors even outline a path forward for proving the effectiveness of these AI agents, suggesting journal-level trials, robust human versus agent benchmarks, citation audit experiments, and audits of research designs before data collection. It is a call to action for more research to understand how, when, and for whom AI agents can truly help reduce the cost of scientific verification. What do you all think? Could AI agents be the unsung heroes helping to build a more reliable scientific future? Or is this just another overhyped tech solution? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to RUBIN'S Mind Lab for more science breakdowns and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. Thanks for watching and stay curious.